Choosing Riley by S. E. Smith. Performed by David Brenin. Chapter 1. Choose, the disembodied voice said. Choose? Choose what? Riley thought, looking around her in disbelief at the rock walls. Choose to get the fuck out of this crazy nightmare? Hell yeah. Choose to kill the bastards who put me in this miserable spot? Oh, hell yeah. Choose. Riley jerked when she felt the ice-cold claw poke her in the back for the third time. Looking around, she followed the arm of the creature standing next to her as it pointed down over the edge of a small platform. She really was trying for that nice stage of being totally zoned out, but the damn creatures who kidnapped her 20 days before had an annoying habit of bringing her back to the unfortunate situation she was in. Choose, the nearly 8-foot-tall stick figure said again, this time losing some of the disembodied tone. Riley couldn't help the little smirk that lifted the corner of her mouth. She really couldn't. After the first week of captivity, she had moved from being mind-numbingly terrified to just downright pissed off at life. She figured if she was going to die, she might as well do what she did best, piss everyone off around her. That was what had gotten her into this situation in the first place. Her big mouth and smart-ass attitude. Okay, maybe she shouldn't have pissed off her boss by telling him what he could do with his wandering hands when he grabbed her ass for the third time that day. Better yet, she shouldn't have broken his nose, his hand, and more than likely his nuts, since he had been screaming more than an octave or two higher than a soprano. Yeah, that probably wasn't the smartest thing to do, especially since his daddy happened to be the local sheriff. She was a bail bondsman, for heaven's sake. Any freaking idiot should have known better than to mess with her. Her line of work required she know a certain amount of self-defense. God, she thought, I really should have never taken that job. When her boss swore she would never leave town alive after she beat the shit out of him, she figured it was time to get the hell out of righteous New Mexico. Of course, the fact her boss owned the local bail bond company and had a somewhat lucrative business going with his daddy should have been her first warning that something wasn't right, she'd thought, as she grabbed her purse and a large manila folder full of incriminating evidence against both of them. Finding out that Daddy and Junior were also running illegal weapons and drugs were definitely her second and third warnings. Of course, the little tidbit of information she had found that morning about the dead guy buried under the storage unit had been the real reason she figured she had made a bad mistake. That information was now safely tucked into the manila folder stuffed in her purse, and it had gone along with her as she left the small town she had been living in for the past 6 months, as fast as her old Ford could drive. She actually might have had a chance to live a little longer if a series of life's usual little hiccups hadn't been blessed upon her. Again. Of course, if the car had been further than one push to the nearest junkyard, it would have helped her great non-existent getaway plans. It would have been better yet if the damn car hadn't broken down just over the state line on the outskirts of the desert. She knew she should have purchased a new one last month, but she was such a tightwad she wanted to get every last mile out of it. And boy, did she. Oh, and she couldn't forget her best idea yet. Getting in a truck with a guy who had more piercings and tattoos than a model for Prick magazine, instead of walking the 3 miles to the bar she had seen a roadside sign for. No, I had to get my fat, Riley sighed. No, my maturely figured ass into the scumbucket's truck. Riley sighed again. I really should have taken those anger management classes like my sainted sister Tina said I needed. Unable to keep the grin off her face, Riley thought back to the look on the pierced, tattooed guy's face when she shot him the bird as he drove off, leaving her in the middle of that godforsaken Hell's Beach just as it was getting
Sample complete. Ready to continue?